Let's hit the Broncos.
Your Broncos, your Denver Broncos.
And they haven't really been my Broncos in a while, but I'm open-minded to getting excited about them.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Broncos. Obviously, it all starts with the fact that they got Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah.
And who are name me like 4 past Broncos quarterbacks, like between Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson.
Like Trevor Siemian was one.
Paxton Lynch.
That's a good one to toss out there. Was Kyle Orton? I think he was before Manning, right?
Brock Osweiler, right?
Osweiler was in there. Oh yeah, just hideousness, absolutely hideous.
Drew Lock.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's 4 guys. So
Teddy Bridgewater,
probably the best of those.
Yeah.
So that gives you some idea of the shoes that Russell Wilson has to fill. Not very big shoes.
No, not at all. I really like Russell as a player. I think he's going to walk in there and make this team so much more competitive. He's coming into the new head coach there too, Hackett, who is interesting. He's interesting. He was with the Packers obviously the last couple of years, but LaFleur is the one calling the plays there. But Hackett did have some mildly intriguing teams during his time with the Jets and the Bills. Some were up, some were down. There were definitely a few trends that stuck out with what he likes to do. He likes to target the running backs a lot. So I thought I was going to be a lot lower on Javonte, but his teams have always had at least 20% target share. Other than like 1 year, it's been at least 20% target share with at least 60 targets going to the lead back. So that really buoyed up Javonte Williams, who I was nervous about, Melvin Gordon coming back and the cheese nibbling. But I think if he gets that type of receiving workload that we've typically seen unloaded to a Hackett lead back, that could be great. Now, another great comment on Twitter to counter me was, well, Russell Wilson targets running backs at a ridiculously low rate. So what happens when these two worlds meet? A coach that likes to target running backs, a player that really hasn't? I don't know, but I imagine Russell Wilson will have no problem throwing to a talent like Javonte Williams down in the flat. That has me a little bit lower on the receivers, though. And that it feels uncomfortable because Russell Wilson had 2 top 20 receivers in DK Metcalf and Lockett for nearly their entire career altogether, at least the last 4 years. And, I think Jeudy and Sutton aren't quite the level of the talent. So maybe that's what's playing for me. But I don't think either of them projected inside my top 20, which just doesn't feel right either.
So they didn't. Sutton projected as your wide receiver 21, but you did put him 16 on your big board.
Yeah. That's kind of the upside of
right.
And I think he's the one that emerges. I like him more than Jeudy. I'm not a lot of people will just keep forgiving Jeudy, and we've seen clips of some beautiful routes, but stay healthy, put it all together. I can't crown you right now. No.
I would lean towards Sutton also.
Definitely. Timmy Patrick seems to always be underrated too. He just always kind of consistent, gets it done. I really do think Wilson, KJ Hamler could be a really great steal as an awesome deep speed. He's coming off a tough surgery, so we'll see. We've really never seen extended action from him, but man, that guy could fly. So he could be really exciting. I have it 22% going Sutton, 19% Jeudy, 15% Patrick, 12% to the backs, which really has me just almost all the way out on Alberto, which I was kind of surprised by because I know we've hyped him up on the pod a few times. Or I have. I know you.
Well, you had Alberto. You have him going well above your projection. I mean, you have him outside of your starting range no matter what. But you got Alberto as your 27th ranked tight end, which is. But then you got him 20th on the big board.
Yeah. So yeah, projection wise, he did not come out good. I wonder if I'm just underselling the pie here. But if Hackett follows his history, he does like to run the ball a lot. He typically is under league average in plays. It's just so weird because Russell Wilson's been in one of the worst offensive systems, and he was still able to kind of foster a bunch of top 20 receivers. And yet I'm not having him do that here. It just doesn't feel right. I think maybe at least Sutton has to get bumped up a little bit for me in my projections. I just don't know what's off though. 1,110 yards, 8 touchdowns. Maybe those touchdowns need to be a little bit higher.
That's a tough thing to call though. I mean, I don't know. My instinct is you're right. Maybe the pie's not quite big enough, but you're doing research. It's not like you're randomly
not
picking this. You've actually done your homework here, and everything you're saying makes sense to me. So I don't know. Let's roll with it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, they're similar to the Cardinals to me from yesterday, where I thought I was going to come out a lot higher on a lot of their weapons, and just based on the numbers and the research and the trends, they just didn't come out where I thought they would. So
Yeah.
I think real life wise, they're going to be competitive. They're going to be a problem. They're going to have a very good defense that's complemented now finally with the quarterback that can get it done. I mean, they could be the top team in this division. They really could. I just don't know that. I do think that, and I think that's going to be like 20 top 21.
That's nuts, man. I really do want to hear your breakdown of the division because
it's so hard.
I'm just like looking at him now and I'm like, God, I don't know. Like it could be anybody.
It could be.
Also, before we roll on to the final team, CJ, Renfrow, way better than Bateman.
Way better than who?
Bateman.
Oh, interesting. I love it. We can go,
but I can't tell. But I can't tell if CJ is saying he likes Renfrow more than Bateman or the other way around because of the ew. I can't tell if he's saying ew to the take of Renfrow being better than Bateman or the other way around. Because that's my take. My take is that Renfrow, I would definitely rather have Renfrow than Bateman. The Wolves was the opposite.
I love the slot, but it's you're way rather. I'm kind of like I could go either way. I would rather have Bateman though for the ceiling, but man,
it's a clear-cut choice to me. I think the Ravens are a train wreck.
We will see. I love the slot role. I really think he's going to crush it in that role.
All right, we'll see.
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.